following breaking developments in the murder-suicide involving Virginia's former Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax and his wife, Dr. Cerina Fairfax.
Police tell us it happened overnight at the couple's home in Annandale while their two teen children were inside.
Police say that former Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax shot and killed his wife and himself in what appears to be a murder-suicide. Fairfax's children were in the house at the time. One of them was the 911 caller. Police say the shooting appears to be related to an ongoing domestic dispute between the couple, who are undergoing what they described as a messy divorce and still live together.
I would ask those of you on social media to just stop with the ugliness, the vitriol, the name calling, the judgments, because you don't know this family and you don't know what was going on. What you know is the outcome, and it is tragic and horrible and something none of us that knew them ever thought was possible.
In 2022, Justin Fairfax used money set aside for his children's horseback riding lessons to buy a handgun. Nobody took that gun away from him. Not when a court documented his daily drinking. Not when a judge put his psychological collapse in writing. Not when police caught him filing a false report against his own wife. Not when his friends were privately discussing his suicidal thoughts. 4 years later, he used that gun to kill her.
When you have a parent who has alcohol issues, mental health issues, access to firearms, it's a good indicator that there is a potential for something volatile like this incident to happen.
This is the case of Justin Fairfax, a man who had everything, lost it all, and took the one person holding his family together on his way out. Welcome to Real Crime Desk, where real cases are uncovered, and the truth is never hidden. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories.
Cerina Fairfax, anyone who knew her knew she was an amazing woman. Kind, good, a great dentist, faithful to her patients and her community, and faithful and loyal to her husband at the most difficult and dark moment ever for their marriage and for their family, when these allegations about Justin came out in 2019, when he was serving as Virginia's lieutenant governor. Cerina didn't deserve her ending. Cerina did not deserve what Justin did to her.
Before we get into what happened, you need to know who was lost. Dr. Cerina Wanzer Fairfax was 49 years old. She was not a footnote in this story. She was the story. Cerina earned her undergraduate degree from Duke University in 1999. She then went on to graduate magna cum laude from the Virginia Commonwealth University School of Dentistry in 2005. Her school honored her in 2015 as its outstanding graduate of the last decade, a recognition of both her professional excellence and her dedication to her patients and community. She built her own family dental practice in Fairfax County, Virginia, from the ground up. Her patients described her work as an act of love and compassion. She was an avid reader. She loved yoga. She ran trails with her 2 Vizsla dogs. She traveled. She was, by every account, a woman who poured herself into everything she did.
Dr. Cerina Fairfax was the head of Dr. Fairfax and Associates Family Dentistry. According to the practice's website, she graduated from Duke University in 1999 before attending Virginia Commonwealth University, where she got her Doctor of Dental Surgery degree in 2005. The site also says Dr. Cerina Fairfax spent hundreds of hours continuing her education in the field, serving as a member of the American Dental Association, the Virginia Dental Association, and the Northern Virginia Dental Society. And according to Virginia Commonwealth University's website, Dr. Fairfax was awarded an Alumni Association Award from the school as an outstanding graduate of the last decade.
But above all else, Cerina Fairfax was a mother. The court documents filed during the divorce proceedings describe her as the primary caregiver to her 2 children in every aspect of their lives. A 16-year-old son named Cameron and a 14-year-old daughter named Karis. The judge overseeing her divorce called her a port in a storm for her children, and credited her grit for holding the family together through years of turmoil. At the time of her death, Cerina had just started planning college visits for her 2 teenagers. She had done everything right. She fought for her children in court. She told the truth. She protected herself and her family at every turn. She was 3 weeks away from having Justin permanently removed from her home. She was 49 years old, and her children were home when it happened. Just after midnight on Thursday, April 16, 2026, Justin Fairfax went to the basement of the family home on the 8100 block of Guinevere Drive in Annandale, Virginia. Cerina was there. He shot her multiple times. He then walked upstairs to the primary bedroom and shot himself with the same handgun, the one he had purchased 4 years earlier with his children's horseback riding lesson money. Their 16-year-old son, Cameron, called 911. He told the dispatcher he believed his mother had been stabbed. He did not know where his father was. His 14-year-old sister, Karis, was also inside the home. Fairfax County Police responded and found Cerina's body in the basement with shell casings nearby. They located Justin upstairs, dead, minutes later.
Suffer a stabbing, area 441, 8106, Guinevere Drive. Caller stating that his dad might have stabbed his mom, saying that she's laying on the ground, bleeding, can see holes in her shirt. Heard a fight about a minute ago, unknown where his father is now. Watch for director en route. Fire department's going to be en route as well.
Once here, the husband's not going to be here. It's going to look like an obvious DOA. Don't have a pulse.
Direct, 0015.
We're 35 Charlie, we're going to be in the basement.
Direct.
We're 35 Charlie. I haven't cleared the house out yet, but I have the son with me downstairs. If units on scene to clear the house, husband's car is still in the driveway. We're 35 Charlie. Subject description is going to be a black male, about 5'10", 5'11". He's going to be clean shaven with short hair.
Possible suspect to be a black male, 5'1", clean shaven with short hair. Not found at the scene.
It's going to be a 45-year-old unconscious, not breathing. We're looking for a black male, 5'1", clean shaven with short hair.
431 Alpha, we got another subject down in the bedroom upstairs. I think this is going to be our subject. He's got a firearm with him, self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. 40 Alpha, I was advised there's a dog out back. If we can get Fairfax 1 to just check over that and make sure no one's hiding in the backyard, please. Neighborhood 402, female subject, pronounced deceased at 0034.
The security cameras Cerina had installed throughout the home, the same cameras that had exposed his false police report just months earlier, recorded everything that happened that night. Fairfax County Police Chief Kevin Davis held a press conference that morning. He described what had happened as extra tragic, his words, because of the children's presence inside the home and their son's role in calling for help. He called it a fall from grace for a relatively high-profile family that seemingly had a lot of things going in their favor.
Certainly, this is a high-profile family. At one point in time, I think it's fair to say that Justin Fairfax, before he was lieutenant governor, while he served as lieutenant governor, and even afterwards, was a rising star politically, not just in Northern Virginia, but in Virginia. So it's high profile in nature. It's tragic in nature. Certainly a fall from grace for a relatively high profile family that seemingly had a lot of things going in their favor.
Hello, my name is Justin Fairfax, and I am the 41st Lieutenant Governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia. I'm standing here today on the steps of the Capitol of Virginia, where 2 years ago in 2018, I took the oath of office as Lieutenant Governor.
The suspect is Justin Edward Fairfax, 47, former federal prosecutor, former Lieutenant Governor of Virginia, Cerina's husband of nearly 20 years, and the father of the 2 children who were home when he killed her. To understand the motive, you need to understand the collapse that preceded it. Justin Fairfax's downward spiral was long, documented, and visible to everyone around him. Court records filed during the divorce proceedings tell the story in detail. He became a daily heavy drinker. Cerina testified in court that alcohol had become a daily norm for him. His personal living space inside the family home was described as littered with empty wine bottles and dirty laundry. He stopped engaging with his children. He stopped paying the mortgage, which fell into default multiple times. He failed to pay his children's school tuition. He defaulted on nearly $30,000 in credit card debt. Cerina testified in court that the dictionary definition of deadbeat applied to him. He was not just struggling, he was disappearing, physically present in the home but completely absent from family life. And the crisis went deeper than finances. In early 2019, when devastating allegations against him became public, 2 women accused him of sexual assault, allegations he denied and was never criminally charged for. Justin's mental state deteriorated sharply. Court records describe a family member finding him hiding in a closet, clutching a pillow and a blanket. He was in a state of visible psychological breakdown.
He was labeled a rapist and predator, accused of sexual assault by Dr. Vanessa Tyson in 2004 and Meredith Watson when they were students at Duke University in 2000.
We are hearing from 2 women who...
Those claims amplified this week by Republicans with a campaign ad.
Forcibly sexually assaulted and raped me.
Featuring Tyson and Watson's interview on CBS This Morning earlier this year.
You have to hold someone down. It's not consensual.
A lot of people are wondering, why would these 2 women risk their own lives, their own safety, and publicly make these claims against you?
It's unfortunate because these claims are false.
So there's still that why?
You know, it's unfortunate. I can't claim to know, the exact motives in the minds of someone who would do this.
Fairfax says it was consensual and is still on a campaign to try and clear his name, from passing lie detector tests to publicly pleading before his colleagues.
With no facts, no due process, no evidence, no nothing.
Now, no criminal charges were filed following those sexual abuse allegations. Fairfax sued CBS, by the way, for defamation over the interviews with his 2 accusers. A judge dismissed that case back in 2021.
By 2022, the situation had escalated further. Justin left the family home one day carrying a suitcase and a gun. Cerina, her stepfather, and one of Justin's uncles tracked him down in the woods of a public park. They could not calm him down. Hours later, his brother arranged for a mental health professional to meet Justin at 1 o'clock in the morning in a parking lot. His friends had been privately discussing the possibility of suicide for some time. Virginia author and journalist Sophia Nelson, one of his closest friends, would later tell the Associated Press there were talks of suicidal thoughts, and yet the gun stayed in the house.
Those of us who talked to Justin as late as Monday or Tuesday of this week, or were in often contact with him, knew that he was depressed, knew that he was in darkness, knew that he was dealing with everything he had lost, feeling that there was no hope. And all of us tried to encourage him to get help, to get back in the arena, to not give in, and to do something good through all of this. Something he called the culture of cruelty. He wasn't able to turn that corner. But none of that justifies murdering his wife.
That same year, 2022, Justin used money Cerina had set aside for the children's horseback riding lessons to purchase a handgun. Court documents show he told family he needed it for personal security after losing his official security detail. The weapon was never removed. Virginia's red flag law, which allows courts to temporarily confiscate firearms from individuals deemed a danger to themselves or others, was never invoked, despite the court's full knowledge of the situation. The couple separated on June 1st, 2024. Under Virginia's same-roof separation doctrine, a couple can be legally separated while still living under the same roof, sharing a home but not a marriage, for up to a year before a no-fault divorce can proceed. So Cerina, Justin, and their 2 teenage children continued living together in the same house for nearly 2 years, a mother trying to leave, a father in freefall, 2 teenagers caught in the middle. On July 18, 2025, Cerina formally filed for divorce in Fairfax County Circuit Court.
The couple was in the middle of complicated divorce proceedings. Cerina filed for divorce last summer, but the two were still living in the same home. Family law attorney Tashina Gorgoni says the case highlights how the system is more reactive than proactive.
The day-to-day of what was going on behind the scenes is not so different from what a lot of us are experiencing when we're trying to guide our clients through a divorce and separation process, particularly a high conflict one.
Judge Timothy McAvoy ordered the once rising political star to move out of the house by the end of April. Judge McAvoy writing Justin had undefined emotional and psychological issues. The court order says after he left office in 2022, Justin struggled with alcohol, retreated from his loved ones, strained his relationship with his kids, failed to pay bills, and bought a gun despite severe mental health concerns. But the judge granted the couple joint legal custody of their teen children, with Cerina getting sole physical custody, while Justin was allowed unsupervised visitation. There were no other court filings that specify removing the gun away from Justin Fairfax. Virginia is a red flag law state, which prevents anyone who could be a threat to themselves or others from possessing or buying a gun.
During the divorce proceedings, Cerina installed security cameras throughout the family home. She was creating a record. She was protecting herself and her children. Those cameras proved critical. In January 2026, Justin called the Fairfax County Police Department and told them Cerina had physically assaulted him. It was a calculated move, an attempt to reposition himself as the victim and damage her credibility in the divorce proceedings. But Cerina had cameras everywhere. Police reviewed the footage. The assault never happened. Justin had fabricated the entire story. Police Chief Kevin Davis confirmed it publicly. We reviewed those cameras and corroborated that the alleged assault never occurred. No arrest was made. The gun remained in the house.
January of this year, Mr. Fairfax calls the police and alleges that his wife assaulted him. We responded to that scene. There are several cameras set up inside the house. Apparently, Mrs. Fairfax, at some point during these divorce proceedings, set up a lot of cameras inside the home. We reviewed those cameras, and we corroborated that the alleged assault never occurred. So there was no arrest made. There was a report written, but the allegation that Mr. Fairfax made in January that Mrs. Fairfax assaulted him was proven to be untrue.
On March 30th, 2026, Fairfax County Circuit Court Judge Timothy J. McAvoy issued a custody and visitation ruling. It awarded Cerina sole primary physical custody of both children. It required Justin to submit to breathalyzer testing 1 full hour before any scheduled visitation with his own children, and it ordered him to vacate the family home by April 30th, 2026. The language inside that order was striking. Judge McAvoy described Justin as a talented man who struggles with undefined emotional and psychological issues. He wrote that Justin's isolation, drinking, and a lack of participation in family life are manifestations of what seems to be a sense of fatalism and hopelessness. The court saw every warning sign. It documented all of it in writing, and still, the gun was never removed from the home. By early April 2026, Justin Fairfax was cornered. He had lost custody of his children. He was facing a court-mandated move-out deadline of April 30th. A 3-day trial on the division of marital assets was scheduled. A contempt hearing had been set for failure to pay bills and school fees, with potential jail time on the table. On April 14th, 2026, just 2 weeks before the move-out deadline, Justin was served with new court paperwork, scheduling him to appear in court on April 21st. Police Chief Davis said that paperwork may have been the spark that triggered what happened 2 days later.
I know he was served some paperwork recently. Apparently, the paperwork indicated when he was next to appear in court. That may have been a spark, and detectives will figure that out, that led to this tragedy here.
There is one detail in this case that sets it apart from most domestic violence murders, and it is chilling. The cameras Cerina had installed to protect herself did not just expose Justin's lie in January 2026. Those same cameras recorded her murder in April. Cerina had built a system of documentation inside that house, legally, logistically, and practically. She had anticipated danger. She had taken action. She had created evidence at every turn. And in a deeply painful irony, the very tool she used to safeguard her future became the record of how that future was taken from her. Additionally, family law attorneys who reviewed the case publicly after the murders raised serious concerns about the system's failure to act on the documented evidence. One attorney told WUSA 9 that a parent with documented alcohol problems, documented mental health deterioration, and access to firearms represents a clear and serious risk. Another stated that the court's March 30th order was protective of the father, focused on what he could still become with treatment, rather than being fully protective of the mother and children who were still sharing a home with him. Virginia's red flag law existed. It was available. It was never used. Dr. Cerina Fairfax deserved April 30th. She deserved to see Cameron and Karis go to college. She deserved the life she had built and fought for.